Hey, how's it going? So, I wanted to talk today about something that I have never really been able to describe. I have no idea what I'm going to title this video. I have no idea how I was actually going to intro this video, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. And it is this general feeling of, I don't know, it's like an ick, which is a word I don't like to use because I think it's cringe, right? But it is this sort of icky, very meh feeling. And is a feeling that I've struggled to voice to parents, to friends, significant others, counselors, therapists. And it is something that I have really struggled to define and put my finger on. Even as I'm talking, I have really no idea where this video is going, but it is something that I've had in my notes app because I've wanted to talk about it for so long. I mean, every one of these videos is almost like a symptom or a part of this overwhelming, or not even overwhelming, but just general feeling that I feel every single day. And that, like I said, is that feeling of like ickiness, like that just like meh, like there's always like a stigma to everything, like, you know, maybe it's my environment, maybe it's just where I'm at in life, but it has, no matter how far back I, dig into my memories, there's always been this feeling of just offness. Like I don't really like something. There are very few memories where I'm truly happy or comfortable. And that makes getting help for it or trying to understand it really hard because I don't have one thing that I can pin it down on. Obviously, one of the first videos I made in this sort of genre of commentary style videos was about depression, and I've made videos sort of about anxiety and all these things that I can put my finger down and point at, like, okay, this is causing me an issue, or even if I don't know what's causing the issue, I can look at something and say, okay, well, this is how I'm feeling. How can I go about this? How can I change this? Or even if I don't know how to what to do about it, I can still help myself understand it. And with these videos, help maybe relate to other people who might be going through a similar thing as me. But like I said, with this, it's just I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. There is no one thing. Sometimes I'll think, well, maybe it's just the house I'm living in. Okay, well, then I move, and that feeling is still carried. Maybe it's the family members that I was surrounded by. Okay, cut those people out. Well, it's still there. Maybe it's my friends. Maybe it's this or that. Maybe it's just like work and stress, and I have all these assignments due for school, and my boss was kind of being a dick, and all this. But when none of that stuff is present, or when circumstances change, that feeling remains. And it's not just depression. It's not just anxiety. I have bouts and I have my moments, as I've talked about on this channel before, but I know how to identify those things. I think I'm pretty self-aware, or at least I try to be. And this is truly maybe my anger, but even that I can sort of pin it down on a lot of certain things. But this is just that one feeling that I really, really have a hard time defining. And I hope by sort of blasting out this video into the aether, maybe some other people can sort of relate to what I'm saying. And it's such a weird thing because I can remember, just being a kid who had no idea how to identify my feelings. But I remember this feeling. I could be sitting outside on a sunny, warm day and have this feeling. I can remember being on vacation and having this feeling. I can remember hanging out with friends and having this feeling. It's sort of that feeling of, so let's say you work full time or you go to school and you're usually always pretty busy. And then you have that one day off, and that whole day off, you can never really relax. It's sort of similar to that, but even that feeling I'm able to define. I'm able to pinpoint a pattern. I'm able to recognize it and recognize what is causing it, right? I'm overworked, I'm overstressed, I'm not letting myself relax. I have all these, things, these outside influences, but even trying to explain this sort of ickiness that I feel, I don't know. It makes me so uncomfortable in my relationships, in my house, in my room. I'm always trying to reorganize my room because it doesn't really ever feel homely. Am I really upset at my friends, or am I just being unrealistic and trying to overcorrect, certain behaviors or things that I'm doing that I don't think are really that big of a deal? I think one issue that I've come across is that it does make these sort of larger bouts of depression or anxiety harder to identify because I am always sort of riding at this uncomfortable level. So whenever my anxiety or depression or anger or whatever starts to spike, if I'm feeling more irritated or whatever may be happening, it's hard for me to see it coming, or it's hard for me to recognize it. Or I could maybe not be, all that in bad of a mood, but I think I am, just because I'm so used to that sort of weird feeling. I'll be feeling off all week, and then I'll sort of like take a moment and think about it. It's like, well, nothing bad has happened. You know, I'm taking care of my bills. I'm talking to my friends. You know, I'm having a good relationship with my significant other. But why do I feel so upset? And it's, again, hard to even talk about it to people. And I go to my girlfriend, I go to my friends, I go to a therapist, you know, whoever it may be. And it's like, I don't know. I just feel weird. You know, it's not anything that they're doing. It's not anything that's, you know, going on in my life, like, you know, a job or a school or, you know, whatever. But I just don't feel good. And you know, even when I go to tell them about it, it's like, what are they supposed to do? It's like, I guess, comfort me, you know, in whatever way that they can. But even if I go to someone and ask for help, I don't even know how to describe it to them. So how am I supposed to reach out and get help for this? I think I've always struggled to define how I'm feeling. You know, like I can recognize it and, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, like writing it down on a piece of paper or making one of these videos has always been really hard for me. One thing I'm always really self-conscious about, actually, is making sure that each one of these videos sort of has a point. You know, like there's a theme or an objective or, you know, whatever it may be. and that feeling is exemplified right now because I have no idea how to title this or how to pinpoint it. But it has been something that I guess as of recently, and, you know, over the summer, as I'm finding myself, you know, with more free time and not really knowing what to do with myself, I am noticing that I am feeling like this way more, where there's not necessarily anything, I guess, to point at and say, well, that's making me feel weird, but I still feel weird. I, on Twitter, just recently posted that I got a PSP, and it's something that I've wanted for a really long time. I just finished God of War, Chains of Olympus, and I'm super stoked about it. But, you know, I'm playing it, I'm just like, I mean, I just don't feel good. You know, I just got this new toy. I got this new thing that I should be really excited about, and I am, and I love it, but I still just feel weird. You know, I can be hanging out with friends on my day off, and I'll just be like, in the back of my head, like, is this really a productive use of my time? Is this actually making me happy? And it's just like all of these very weird, contradictory, or unproductive thoughts just flow into my head and corrupt whatever I'm doing or whatever I'm thinking about. It can make me, you know, when I'm just feeling a little off, actually become upset or depressed or whatever. I guess it's sort of like an always irritable state. You know, like I'm always just slightly irritable or anxious, like a mix of the two. And it's really hard to pinpoint it to something. I guess that's the best way I can describe it, you know, and I wish there was a better way to describe it, but it is just this weird feeling that I've had my whole life. Like I said, even before I was able to identify my emotions. You know, as a kid, I can remember feeling this way, and almost all of my memories, you know, there's very few where I'm like truly happy, but, you know, almost all of my memories, I can just have this weird ickiness about them, and I don't know, it's tiring. It's tiring even trying to sit down and define it because I don't want to, man. I just want to stop feeling like this, you know? But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I got Twitter and stuff in the description, and yeah, see you guys.